Most people who start learning guitar quit. And I know that sucks to hear. I wish it wasn't true, but that's how things are. And that's why I'm here right now, because I want to make sure that you do the right things in the right order so you can build up your skills and motivation to stick with it. And today, I want to talk about what you can do if you feel like you're hitting some roadblocks with the whole chords and strumming thing. Because to be honest, chords and strumming isn't everything.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's an amazing entry point because not only does it teach you about the fretboard, help you with your rhythm and get started with all that stuff, but guitar is really unique because if you can play chords and strum, that's all you got to be able to do. And all of a sudden you can join a band, you can write songs, you can go play at an open mic. No other instrument offers such a simple way to, get into being a musician. But, that does sound a lot simpler than it really is. And it does take some time to get that skill going. I mean, I have hundreds of lessons on this channel. I have a ton of courses on my website, all designed to help people overcome those early roadblocks and make it happen because it is such a worthwhile investment. Anyways, maybe you're hitting a roadblock or maybe you're on that path and you're building up the skill. Wherever you're at today, I want to show you some other stuff you can do on guitar that's not chords and strumming, but it's still really easy to get into, a lot of fun, and it's going to keep your guitar journey moving forward. We're going to cover a little bit of fingerstyle. We're going to learn about lead guitar. And I'm going to show you what I believe is one of the most important things and one of the most fun things that you can do with guitar that's going to teach you about the notes on the fretboard, but also allow you to play pretty much any song today. And I know that sounds like a big, crazy promise, but it's true. So definitely stick around to the end of this lesson for that. First things first, we're going to do some fingerstyle. And I'm going to play two chords, G and E minor. And the beauty of fingerstyle is, since we're not strumming all the strings, we don't actually have to press the entire chord shape. So you just put your middle finger on the third fret of the thickest string. That's your G chord. Whether I'm playing the full G chord or just pressing that one note, because I'm hitting lots of open strings, so we just have to use one finger. Great for, if you're tired of that G chord, practicing it. And then we're gonna switch over to E minor. That's a 2-finger chord. You can just leave your index on the second fret of the A string for both of these. Your middle finger goes under it. Then you just pivot your middle finger back and forth between two spots. And you gotta curl your fingers for clean chords. That's the biggest challenge with fingerstyle coming from strumming is like, if I'm strumming this E minor chord, that sounds pretty good. Then I go to pick it, and that's gonna bug me, having that dead note, So I gotta curl my fingers. It's gonna help me with my technique. And with these two chords, you can do Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, the beginning of it, That David played and it pleased the Lord. So let me show you that fingerstyle pattern. I'm gonna be on my G chord, and I have my thumb on the thickest string. I skip a string, index, middle, ring, just like that, just laying them out in order, and then I pluck in order. Thumb, index, middle. Then when I get to my ring finger, I come back. Ring, middle, index. My index is always going to play the D string. My middle's always going to play the G string. My ring is always going to play B. So they're like attached to that string, and your thumb always plays that thickest string. And you just go up and down. 1 and 2 and Remember, rhythm is everything. So you got to learn how to count it. But it's simple. 1 and 2 and 1. If you're like taking one of those snobbier instruments, your teacher might be like, this is a 6/8 time signature, and they might write out the beams go like this. All you really need to know is 1 and a 2 and a, and then you're just plucking on those beats, And then you do that for E minor. That's Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, right? And there's tons of other songs that use this exact same pattern, like Everybody Hurts. Day is done. Unchained Melody. Oh, my love. Love by Elvis. There's a bunch of tunes that use it. The one thing is that your thumb might have to change strings and follow the roots of the chord. There's a page in my ebook. I'll just quickly show you right here. For the C chord and A minor, the root is on the A string. For, G and E minor and stuff, it's on the thickest string. It's pretty straightforward. Anyways, all you got to do, though, to get started is just practice those two shapes. You could even just mute the strings and just practice the pattern counting 1 and 2 and then when you're ready, you just do it 1 time per chord or 2 times per chord. 1 and 2 and 1. And if you're interested in fingerstyle and you want to pursue that path, I do have a course, Fingerstyle Beginner to Advanced. The only real requirement is that you're comfortable with the basic chord shapes. Otherwise, it does start at a very early level and it takes you all the way to, The next thing I want to show you is some basic lead guitar. And our goal here is to simply express ourselves. There's no rules. We're just going to learn how to follow a couple simple shapes and then see where it takes us. So let's just take a quick look at what we can do with these simple shapes. Believe it or not, I was just following 2 simple shapes. The starting point for being able to do that is very, very simple. Here's what I was doing. I had this, what I call the 3x3 box. You can see it's just like a box shape on the guitar. I'm going to start on the 5th fret of the A string with my index. And then I'm going to play the 7th fret with my ring. But the key is to leave your index down as you add your ring finger. That's the good technique stuff that we need to follow. And my thumb is like on the 6th fret behind those 2 fingers. And I lift my ring and I leave my index down and I can go between those 2 frets, And you want to get used to that at first. Do that on the D string and on the G string. It's the same thing. 5, 7 on those 3 strings. And that's what I would start with. I would just play a backing track and I'll provide you with one off of my website. And you do it in a simple way, going. Play anything you want. A lot of people will tend to go up and down. But the truth is, you just want to explore the notes. Play the same one a bunch of times. People always overlook the power of that. Being repetitive is awesome. That's what makes things sound cohesive. Like when you're listening to an actual song, the melody is repetitive. They'll sing the same bits of melody over and over again because that's what the song sounds like, So do that with your soloing. Anyways, you do the 3x3 box there. And if you're up for a little bit of a challenge, you can do it here too. And my starting note is the note that I ended on. So I played my 3x3 box, and that note that I ended on, I'm going to put my index finger there instead. Same thing with my index, and then I skip a fret and go up to my ring finger. And then I'm going to shift up an entire fret here to 8 and 10 for the top 2 strings. So this is the same notes as the 3x3 box, but due to the way that we tune guitar, the lowest string of it is offset by 1. But basically you have your 3x3 box here, and then from the top note, you have another octave available of that 3x3 box, and you can simply explore it. You can try to find melodies that like from Come Together. Here come old flat top, he come grooving up slowly, and just play around with it in any way you can. It's just like a canvas, it's a little sandbox. Do whatever you want with it. What I really want to stress here is that it's not just about the notes, it's what you do with them. Imagine somebody's giving a speech, they can make a great point without using bombastic language and words like indubitably and henceforth, simple words will get the point across. It'll probably reach even more people. And so will simple notes. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Brian May, Clapton, Hendrix, all the greats, they use these exact simple shapes. It's how you say it that matters. And if you want, today I kind of pretty quickly went through this. What I just showed you, that would take several lessons if we really wanted to break it down and really get the rhythm behind it and get everything to sound really good. I do have a lead guitar course, and it will take you from, the day that you buy your electric guitar all the way to being able to go to a jam session and play some simple, impressive stuff, and have that foundation for, building up from there, learning cool stuff on guitar and all that. Anyways, I'll put a link if you are interested. Anyways, the third thing that I want to show you, and this is one of my favorite things to show people on guitar, is all you need is a simple shape called the power chord shape and a diagram with all the notes on the fretboard, and you can play pretty much anything. The premise is really simple. You just get all the root notes, which are available on a page on my website. You look at the chords to a song that you want to play. So let's say you want to play Don't Stop Believing by Journey, and it's C, G, A minor, F. Well, you ignore any minor or anything like that. You're just looking at the letter, and you find those 4 letters. You find C right here at the 3rd fret of the A string. You find G here at the 3rd fret of the E string. A is right there at the 5th fret. And then F is at the 1st fret. It's just all right there. You're just following a diagram. And you get used to doing that with your index finger. You say the name of the note, C, G, do to A, down to F. Don't stop believing. You can even sing it. Hold on to that feeling. That's a horrible Steve Perry impression. Anyways, you basically just pluck the notes like a bass player and get used to where they are. You can say the names of the notes and sing the song, do whatever you want to do with it. And then you add this shape instead. So my index is playing the exact same notes, and I'm going to add my ring finger 2 frets higher and 1 string higher. And I just do a little pluck. I just aim for the same string, and I'll kind of incidentally hit the next string. So follow my index. That's all I'm thinking about. My ring finger's just along for the ride. G, A minor, F. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. And you can, get more fancy with the rhythm. And if you play electric guitar, I've played tons of gigs professionally where that's what I needed to do, was just play power chords, just to beef up the bottom end, right? It's an awesome technique on its own that you will find a lot of uses for. And if you're playing acoustic or electric, this bar chord or this power chord leads into bar chords. You just flatten that finger, and now you have a full-on bar chord. And that's the gateway into bar chords. It gets you moving, it gets your elbow in the right spot, it gets your technique, to play the power chord. The technique is the same as for the bar chord, so it leads into it without being so painful like bar chords can tend to be. So with that, we conclude my 2025 Back to Basics guitar series here on YouTube. Now, as always, I want to send you off with some things that you can work on and point you in the right direction so that you can take the correct steps, do the right things in the right order, and get as good as possible as soon as possible. But in today's episode, we kind of discussed all these different directions that you can go in. So depending on your goals as a guitar player, you're gonna need something different. Everybody's different. If you just want to be the king of the campfire, and be able to just look up the chords and lyrics to a song and then just play it on command, that's what my course Learn Guitar Once and For All is going to do for you. But if that's not your thing and you want to do one of the things that we mentioned today, like fingerstyle or lead guitar, I also have courses covering each of those subjects. A lot of people, they'll offer a beginner course, an intermediate course, and then an advanced course and kind of mix everything up. But I found it's way better to decide what you want to do on guitar and then work back from there. So if you want to learn fingerstyle, I have a course that's going to give you those skills. If you want to play lead guitar, learn how to take solos and be able to like go to a jam session and like fit in and do your part, I have a course called The Complete Lead Guitarist. I also have a course covering acoustic blues, one for intermediate and advanced strumming, there's one for bar chords, there's one for music theory, and I'm always releasing more and more courses based on popular demand, based on what I see, the skills that I see people want, to help them get there, to help you reach your goals on guitar. And if you want to learn more, I'll put a link down below, or you can visit my website, goodguitarist.com, and see how I can help you reach your goals on guitar faster than you thought possible. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.